Good evening, everybody. All and everybody present here, our guest, trainer who would be taking the session, and all our audience who are present here to listen to the beautiful training in the first ever episode of Thunderbolts, the training sessions, which are going to happen under the positive thoughts every Saturday and Sunday. So block your time, friends, 6 to 7 for the specialized trainings which would be coming up every week for you to enrich yourself. Friends, this is the first episode, and the trainer whom you are going to meet and learn things from is none other than Mr. Manish Sharma, a well-known name in parenting. I think everybody knows about him in India and few places abroad also. So now he is a very well-known across India and abroad in parenting. I'm also one of his students in parenting. Gladly, I would say, learned a lot of things from him. And today he is going to take us through parenting in lockdown. And before we go for that, parenting in lockdown, it's a need of an hour, friends. I think every one of us require it. But before we touch upon the topic and discuss few things about it, I would like to tell you about the positive thoughts, then the brain behind it, and our today's guest. I would like to introduce all of them. So first, I would like to tell you about the positive thoughts. Positive Thoughts Family is a Procurt UK ISO certified, GST registered firm registered under Ministry of MSME, Government of India. It is a global community of super positive, eminent speakers, trainers, coaches, educationists, consultants, social activists, and entrepreneurs from all across India and from almost 40 different countries on the mission to learn, connect, share, and bridge the gap between brands, organizations, and will work on the mission of empowerment for stress-free education and life. The elite executive community is for all the like-minded positive people from all across the globe who want to share, inspire, and help each other to grow their successes together by empowering one another. A platform like this will work as a one-stop solution for all with full of hope of bringing major transformations in the society. We have already started with Arabica Coffee Blooms, a talk show with the eminent personalities, and to add feathers, this is our second program where we will be taking you through trainings across every Saturday and Sunday, 6 to 7 p.m. Now, the brain behind this, I know you already know about him, many of you, but those who are not aware about it, for them, the information is Gaurav Sharma is a well-known and respected multi-award winning motivational speaker, life coach, and a social activist, founder and CEO, Positive Thoughts Consulting and Training Solutions, co-founder, 28 Credentials of Entrepreneurs, Malaysia. He believes passion keeps a person motivated, and people who follow it will always find happiness and satisfaction in whatever they do. He believes that we each achieve our version of success by getting to know our inner selves and understanding what drives us. That success is finding our purpose and then designing a life that embraces it. He chose to take on a great risk by leaving his career and becoming a motivational speaker because after years of searching and self discovery, he had finally found his purpose. He came to realize that he wanted to lead a life fueled by the desire to serve, to uplift, and to empower people from all walks of life. A God fearing family person, Mr. Sharma is actively involved in various initiatives that support contributing and giving back to society and finds the fulfilling feeling unparalleled. Now, next comes, I know you are waiting for your trainer's introduction, all of you. Now I'm going to introduce none other than our Manish Sharma sir, the parenting coach who is going to lead you through the parenting in lockdown session today. And he is a career strategist and the brand strategist, a very well-known name in the parenting industry. Head training and development, discover in head channel development, Orange Cube Consultancy, then founder and association of trainer, the trainers camp, then founder and association of parenting coaches deep, master trainer, International Institute of Career Coaching, serial startup entrepreneur, and an accomplished parenting coach. With over 18 years of experience, having partnered with over 5 startups in the last 7 years, reflects the ability to collaborate and engage teams with diverse backgrounds in effective utilization of strategies to increase revenues, brand awareness, and facilitate successful business efforts. Great, sir. He works in the area of parenting and personal growth by connecting science and spirituality. As a parenting coach, over 16 years of experience, he has coached, trained over 1 lakh. No, it is 50, it's a big number. Sir, please tell me how many. It is 15 lakh parents and over 25,000 teachers. Wow, it's a big number in enabling them to raise kids with love and affection. As a parenting coach, the endeavor is to guide the parents in creating a healthy, happy, and balanced family life by working on improved communication and relationship between parents and children. Undoubtedly, Manish sir, without this, nothing works. We are looking forward to your session. Then, though an association of parenting coaches, Deep, he is engaged in developing a team of professional parenting coaches. In association with People for People Welfare Society, he has initiated an awareness program called DEEP, that is Developmental Encouraging and Effective Parenting, an interactive discussion on different aspects of child development. DEEP is an association of parenting coaches with more than 612 coaches serving in India, Bangladesh, Bahrain, Nepal, Nigeria, UK, Canada, Kuwait, and Germany. Fantastic, sir. And I happen to be one of that coach, feeling privileged to be part of it. Mission of Manish Sharma, sir, is discovering one's potential and empowering it to excellence. I'm repeating, discovering one's potential and empowering it to excellence. Well, let's welcome sir with a big applause. And I'm putting sir on the spotlight also. Yes. And let's all welcome him with a big clapping. Thank you so much, sir, for being here. And before I forward the session to you, I would like to say a few words to the audience. I think during the lockdown, parenting has become real challenging task for all the parents present here, present worldwide. Everybody has faced this problem. Children are at home 24 by 7. And what to do? So the ones who face this issue and are still facing it, I would suggest that you first listen to Sir's session and then please pass on these videos to your friends, whoever can take advantage of Sir's learning. So now I would like to pass on the session to Sir. Sir, it's all yours.
Thank you, Ina. Thanks a ton. Thanks for this beautiful introduction. I'm grateful. And I'm grateful to this organization, Your Positive Thoughts and Gaurav Sharma, for creating this big platform and giving me this opportunity to come forward and discuss. It is my privilege to be here in the first episode of Thunderbolt. So the best thing which I found over here is that's a cross-learning platform, wherein we are learning from each other, the expertise of each other. And the topic which we thought that we'll be starting with today is something which is everybody is facing problem, parenting kids in this time when everything is locked. But the one thing which is pretty, it's an opportunity. Things are locked, but in any ways, we got an opportunity to be open at home. So maybe we are locked to go outside, but in house, we got an opportunity to interact with each other, to talk to each other, to get engaged with each other positively, which earlier we had excuses to, since my papa is busy, mama is busy, everyone is busy. So this lockdown is an opportunity in terms of being open among each other. So I'll be taking this discussion forward, and I'll be expecting few responses from your side to seek validation on few points. And I'm sure many of us are parents and from different part of the world. I'm welcoming and thankful to all for your presence over here from the world around. So when it comes to parenting lockdown, Ina, do I have this facility to share?
Yes, yes, you can
Yeah.
share, sir. I have
Okay,
already
right.
facilitated that.
So I am representing an organization called DEEP, which is Developmental, Encouraging, and Effective Parenting. And at this point of time, when we are logged, and I already told you it's an opportunity. So when it's an opportunity, we can only avail this opportunity by being mindful to situation. There are many reasons to be mindful. Since we can take it as an opportunity. Second, we all know it's a crisis. Everyone is going through. When it is a crisis and it's not limited up to one zone, which is physical health, it's 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 um, it's hitting us from all sides, not only physically, financially, mentally, right, emotionally. So this crisis is hitting us from all sides, and we can fight with this crisis by being mindful in the situation. So emotionally, we can control everything by being mindful. Financially, of course, up to an extent, and the best, which is the mental health, which is very much required to deal with all the situation, we can deal with it by being mindful to situation. So my discussion, since I got 45 minutes to address, so I'll be being brief in certain actionables which can be there to do parenting at this point of time. Not only not only uh, keeping children growth in mind in this relation, even as a parent, how can you keep yourself positive, how can you keep control over your emotions, that we'll be discussing about. So the funda of mindfulness over here, we can discuss it by keeping 3 E's in mind. These 3 E's will help us if we focus on these to be mindful. And on the other side, if I can say, from other perspective, that actually these 3 E's need our mindfulness. And the first E, I would say, is emotions, feelings, and state of mind of the child at this point of time. Whatever be the age of child is, whether they are a toddler at home, a mid-schooler, a teenager, right? Social relationships is a need of survival. We all know, for you, me, everyone, even for kids, all these social relationships, the bond which they have with their friends, with surroundings, with the neighborhood, which is missing from so much time. It's not new. 1.5 year they are suffering. They're unable to go out. They're not visiting school. They're not meeting their regular friends. And there are definitely some emotions which are now uncontrollable. There are feelings which are not good, and the state of mind which many a time, because of our challenges, we are unable to empathize with. The first E which seek your consideration is empathizing with their emotions, their feelings, and the state of mind. Now, keeping this first fact in mind, that kind of emotions which they feel, right? Just take a break. I'm sure nobody wants to make them feel bad. Nobody wants at any point of time. No parent have a intent to keep them into that bad phase, bad feeling. We definitely want to get them out of it, but that requires a break, a break, and start thinking like them, feeling like them, and get into their shoes and think and realizing the situations. That's where, and I believe me, I have never seen an individual who can say that I'm pro in empathizing. It is a conscious practice. We have to empathize consciously. You can't say that, okay, I empathize. I am a parent who is very emotional. I am very much bonded. Definitely you are. But you can increase the frequency of being empathizing by being conscious. If you consciously practice to thinking like them, feeling like them, in the situation and understand the state of mind, believe me, the lot of conflicts which are there will not be there, and a lot of time you can address their emotions. Our idea, like most of the time when we have a grown-up kids, we start expecting from them that you shall understand the situation. If I have a 8 years old child, we give them logics, rational. See, the world is suffering. See, everybody is dying. See, everybody is unhealthy. We shall not go out. Understand. We expect them to understand, which is absolutely okay. Absolutely okay. But at the same time, while understanding, aren't they feeling bad? Aren't they feeling restricted? Aren't they feeling caged? Yes, at one point of time, they can understand the fact, but we can't just ignore the fact that at the same time they're feeling caged. At least we don't invalidate that emotion. When a child says, I'm getting freaky, I'm upset, I can't meet my friends, you can't tell them that you can't have these feelings. They do have. They shall have, definitely. It is absolutely normal to a human. You, me, kids. At least we validate that. At least we empathize. Yes, I can understand. Even I'm feeling same. Maybe at that point of time, only rationals will not do. You can't invalidate their feelings by putting a rational aside to it. You need to understand everything is closed, everything is unhealthy. No, at least we validate those feelings. Yes, I understand. These kids are actually into emotional trauma right now. I won't say that you become so practical talking about you can't have these feelings, right? And on the same time, we can't go and drown in that trauma along with them. Oh, if you are feeling bad, I'm feeling bad, let's get into it. The idea over here is like, okay, I'm sure you are missing your friends. I can be your friend for some time. Let's play. Let's do something together. Let's talk. I try. I will definitely try to be a friend. At least you give them that. You first validate their emotions and feelings, and second, you give them an opportunity to talk. That is why I say maybe the word is lock. The word is lock, but something is opening in the house. In my home, there is an opportunity. There's an opportunity to talk. Right? We had that tendency to ask questions earlier. Right? Kids were going out in the school, they were coming back, we were asking what happened in school today, what you played, XYZ. Now they're not going anywhere. You don't have questions. You see everything happening around. At least you go and talk now. Instead, asking only. It's an opportunity. So state of mind, their emotions, their feelings, whenever they come up with. If you empathize, if you validate those, believe me, you will connect well with them. Don't try to correct all the time that, no, you can't have these feelings. It doesn't happen that way. And many a time we give them justification like, do you think your friends are going out even they are at home? It's okay. They know this. They know this. Their friends are not going out. They're not giving you this justification. If you are not taking these justifications when they tell my friend have a bike, my friend have this, if you're not going to take it, don't give it. It's just that we are undergoing a crisis. It need a different you. A different level of patience is required at your end. Different level of reflectivity is required at your end. You can't be impulsive. You have to. That is why I suggest most of the parents right now, you have good time now. You start meditation with your kids. So that if any fear is bothering you, any impulsivity is bothering you, at least you start having control over that. I usually tell people, the parents around, it's not the same parenting which we were doing yesterday is required now. Now it needs more patience. Now it needs more compassion. Now it needs more love, more talking, right? More reflectivity. Your impulsivity will not be paying you now. It will be working ulta. Absolutely contrast results you will get. So be there with them with a different you. And I hope right now, if you work on your own thoughts, your feelings, your impulses, your emotions, your own emotions, it will definitely help you to make this this bond more stronger. Believe me, many families wherein they had the problem that kids were not talking to them, they opted in this opportunity to talk to their kids, and they started getting that bond back which was missing. It's a time actually to strengthening this bond and to get that bond back. Because I believe at any point of time when you choose to correct, you alter your child's belief, their ideas, and their behaviors you want to alter and correct. You need to have connection before correction, and it's a time to build that connection. If out of frustration, your frustrations, if you started invalidating their feelings and emotions, this connection will be getting weaker, not stronger. That's first T we can work on at this time, and see it as an opportunity. Don't see it as a threat that I have to do it. Maybe God has given us an opportunity to empathize, to connect better with our kids. So second thing which I feel, E, which is right now very much needed practically, um, is engaging our kids effectively. Now earlier their engagements were natural. They were going out, dealing with the friends, socially engaged, a lot of things. Now at home, they were not much engaged at home earlier. We never designed engagements for them, right? So they are not habitual to get engaged at home. So that is why they are much more attracted by these gadgets, these screens at this point of time. And these screens in many ways are harmful. I'll not get into the harm of that. It will be a long story. But yes, it is harmful. It is impacting their brain patterns. They are getting hooked to that. And it is anyways not meaningful for their life. Only entertainment cannot be a life goal, right? Our kids are getting over entertained, not only over entertained, over entertained. They get to sleep when they get tired of entertainment. That's the fact. That's the unfortunate fact that this much entertainment is not required in the life. These engagements are definitely entertaining but meaningless, and it is we who can contribute in terms of designing those engagements for them, right? Whatever be the age of child, if you mindfully design a schedule of a child, if you divide their day in different engagements, believe me, what is obviously missing will come back. At this point of time, that something which is obviously missing is physical engagements. Yes, they're not physical, not going out, not doing any park activity, no ground sports activity. So some obvious thing which we have excuses to, since it is locked down, they can't go outside, but still they can do those physical activities at home if we plan it. Only if we plan it. My suggestion is, if we divide the day of a child into 4 parts, if we divide it in 4 parts and in 4 engagements, I would say that one is physical engagements, second is academic engagements, third is entertaining engagement, and fourth is learning engagements. I'll just give throw some light on each. Physical engagement, even if we are locked, even if we are in a flat, right? We don't have that opportunity to go out. Can't we do some physical activities at home? I'm seeking your responses. Can't we? Some play, maybe on terrace, maybe in our lobby, maybe even if we have small place, some ball play can happen, yoga can happen, abacus, this Zumba, aerobics. A lot of things can happen if we plan it. If you plan physical engagements 3 times in a day, morning 20 minutes, afternoon 20 minutes, and evening 20 minutes, and add on to it, if you also participate in that along with the child, believe me, your child will be much more encouraged to do those things. Maybe if a child is not interested to do yoga, but he knows that my papa is also doing with me, my mama is also doing with me, believe me, they will do those things which they don't like. You can plan your this physical fitness through your kids. If you plan 20 minutes engagement 3 times a day, at least 20 minutes, if you give 1 hour physical play, which even science says child need to have a day, a gross physical activity of 1 hour will be fulfilled, provided you plan it. Now, what happens with human mind? We take excuses. We attract excuses. And this excuse is the biggest excuse of the time, this pandemic. And we already accepted it. Since it's a pandemic, so my child can't do physical engagements. That is why they are glued to screens. We have given this excuse to self. Believe me, one day if you think otherwise, no, I'm not going to give this excuse to myself. You will definitely plan one or other activity for your kids. Believe me, there are many, and you need not to be so creative to design it. It's there. We all know that. We all know how to play with the kids. Ball games, yoga, Zumba, aerobics, dance, a lot of things. Dance is also one activity, physical activity. But believe me, if we plan, it will happen. What we need to do is we have to pick up a paper and we have to draw. We have to segregate activities in entire 14 hours of day which our child have, right? Academic engagements. Anyway, schools are planning academic engagements. School are going on with online classes and all. School has a one schedule of the morning. Earlier, when your kids were going school, they were going to school in the morning hours, and evening they were doing homework. May not be coaching classes, but most of the kids were definitely picking up books again, notebooks again in the evening for an hour or so. Yes or no? Yes, which is missing nowadays. If they're attending morning hours in school, they can. There has to be another 30 minutes, 40 minutes in the evening planned, especially. Put it in somewhere in the schedule that they shall be there in the evening as well, so that the routine remain intact. Now, what happens on the name of, since they're not going to school, they only attend morning classes, not evening. Evening routine is out, right? Which was earlier there at home. You can plan it again. There will be 30, 40 minutes they can give in the evening as well. So academic engagement will take the time. Now, maybe you may be thinking it will be much more than required. These academic engagement, when they're doing, at least they are away from screens. Why we are planning these engagements? At least when they are doing physical activity, they are no more in front of screen. Otherwise, if they're not doing, they have only one engagement with them. That's entertaining engagement. Entertaining engagements are already there. Now what you need to do is you have to limit its time. Limit its times. You have to put it somewhere in the schedule. On this time is dedicated to games or videos or rhymes or something else which you call entertaining engagements. It shall not be continued. Whenever you have time, you pick up screen, pick up gadget and get entertained. No, that's not plan. That's not the plan, right? If you place it somewhere in the schedule, it will be limited. But we never did it. If you do it, it will be maintained. And the third, which is the biggest opportunity now. Maybe I was talking to parents earlier when I was telling them, okay, your child can learn another language, they can learn this skill, they can learn public speaking, they can learn personality development, right? One other skill they can learn. And parents were giving me this excuse, my kids are very much engaged into school, they're going to coaching classes, we don't have time for these skills, we don't have time for other learnings. Now you have time. Have you enrolled your kids for those things? Have you made them learn some skills at home? Maybe cooking, maybe mopping, cleaning, life skills. It was an opportunity now. It is an opportunity. It has been with us from last 1 year. Why don't we use it? If you involve them into some learning, some skills, learning some new things, right? Maybe at this point of time, it's not me, even you will agree with the fact that the learning is at its best price. Online learnings are at its best price, right? Maybe we were paying a lot earlier. Now it is, it's very, I want to use this word, but it is definitely cost effective now. And if it is cost effective, why don't we take opportunity for our kids? There are reading classes going on. There are personality development program going on, public speaking program going on, coding classes, robotics, everything online. At a, not even a 20% price. Maybe you were paying 10,000 bucks earlier. Now you need to pay 2,000 bucks, right? It's pretty cost effective. Why don't you take opportunity? But we haven't planned it. That is why we are not using it. If you plan it somewhere that my child will learn something in a day, and not only something from outside, even at home, from mama, from papa, they can learn something. They can learn cooking, they can learn mopping, cleaning, stitching, one or other thing which we feel that our kids need to learn in life. If you divide a day in 4 parts, physical, academic, entertaining, and learning engagement, believe me, you will involve them into meaningful engagements, which are developing, which are growth oriented, not only entertaining. Because these entertainment is definitely giving them pleasure, these entertaining engagements, but it's not developing. Rather, there are many which are harming. There are many which are hooking their brains to something which later will become a big problem, right? So we can stop it. We can plan. We can, anyways, it's a plan to divert their energies from screens to some other meaningful things. Gardening, believe me, gardening. If you have that wherein you have some plants at home, a small garden at home, you can engage them there, right? One or other thing you can engage them, and it's not in the form of seeking obligation for them. It is just sharing responsibility. Seek their help. Believe me, they're ready to help you. Don't put it across as an obligation that if you do so, you'll get something from me. No, not that way I'm seeking. Seek help and you will see they will be engaged with you. I hope it is connected. You have to just pick up a paper and put these activities at different time. And even in academic engagement, there are certain free portals which are going on, like Coursera, Udemy, then this Khan Academy. Believe me, if you guide them to go there, they will get one or other thing which is good. Even Microsoft has a lot of programs which are free of cost. Your kids can learn it. We can put it in learning engagement. There are a lot of apps which are helping to learn some languages, Duolingo and all. Go take their help and learn other languages. I won't say that we are planning it to make them pro in that. At least they will be engaged in some meaningful things which are developing. I hope you are connected on this. Even Samina, if we are talking about 6 years old, 6 years old can also do physical engagement with you. They can also do learning engagements, right? Duolingo, which I told you, some mathematics, some fun with maths. This kind of apps are there. Definitely, it's on screen, but it's not harming, not harming much. Clear? There are things. Few other things which I feel that we can be mindful to. Whenever your kids are engaged with screens, 2-3 rules are there. If you maintain those rules, believe me, you can reduce down the impact of screens on your child's eyes and brain. Three rules are there. One rule is called rule of distance, which says whatever screen your child is engaged on, the distance between eyes and the screen shall be 5 times of the screen size. Distance between eyes and screen shall be 5 times of the screen size. Maybe we all know that kids need to see screens from the far distance, but the ideal distance is 5 times of the screen size. You can maintain it. If your kids are negotiating with you to watch TV, you can ask them at least that you shall not be watching it from the close distance. Go far, sit far away, then I'll allow you to watch. At least we can ensure that the impact will be lesser on their eyes. Second rule is rule of illumination, brightness and lighting. Each screen is throwing light outside. The room in which your child is watching screen, the room brightness shall be 3 times of the screen lighting. 3 times. And we don't have any measure at home to calculate lighting. At least we can ensure that kids shall not watch screens in the dark. Not allowed. If they are watching screens in the dark, the impact is 3 times. 1 hour TV watching is equal to 3 hour TV watching. This thumb rule you can apply. And the other is this angle, that its screens need to be on the eye level. Usually our LED TVs, our bigger screens are usually installed on eye level. If you check at your home, knowingly it is installed on eye level. But gadgets like mobile phone, tablets, we don't keep it on eye level. At least when your kids are attending online classes, they shall not be allowed to use mobile phone this way. No, it shall be kept on a tripod, or maybe place something which is on their eye level and put phones over there, because these are lengthy engagements. 45 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours engagement in the morning. The angle has to be correct, right? If it's on eye level, it is impacting lesser on their eyes and brain. I hope these 3 can be maintained. Distance rule, 5 times of the screen size. And then rule of lighting. That means if your child is watching TV in a lobby or a living room, there has to be extra lights open. And third is keep the gadgets, the screens on eye level. Usually tablets and mobile phones are not on eye level. So we can, if you use tripods, it can be on place. I hope it will be helping. At any point of time, we are trying to reduce down the screen time the best way we can. The best way we can reduce the impact of screens on eyes and brain. And the third is this E at this point of time, which need your much mindfulness, is encouraging them to talk. Now, this is a very interesting thing which I'm going to share with you. G people usually have a tendency, actually. It's actually a mindset which we have. We are more in a supervisory parent mindset. The one who has a right to know what's happening in their life, what they are doing. And check with yourself, check with the people around you, that whenever they feel like talking to their child, the only option they have to strike the conversation is asking question. Check. Even they feel like, okay, I want to talk to my child. They are very excited in loving manner. They go and ask, how about your studies? How's coaching classes going on? How's your maths test? Believe me, they don't know that even without asking questions, they can strike a conversation. Questions never encourage someone to talk. And when I ask question, maximum I'll get the answer which has been asked. That's it. But if my child is encouraged to talk to me, I don't know what they will come up with. They will come up with their emotions. They will come up with their ideas. They will come up with their opinions. They will come up with the feelings and thoughts, which I never felt like asking ever. Only when they feel like talking to me. And they will be encouraged to talk to me only when I go and talk to them. If I ask questions, I think nobody is encouraged. We never do we ever ask questions to our best buddies? Okay, Ina, I'm Manish. How are you? How was your day? How's life going on? Are we that formal? No, we never. If I talk to Ina, I have something to talk to her, and she has something to talk to me. I'm sure that's how best buddies talk. That's how friendly. I don't tell people to become friends to their kids, right? But at least you become friendly parent. The one who talk like a friend, the one who listen like a friend, the one who is not asking. If your friend is always asking you, kahan gaye the, kya kiya tha, what and that, you will be uncomfortable. Nobody is open with questions, but people are open with conversations. When I go and share if I go and share my routine with you that, okay, I joined you at 6 o'clock in the evening. Before this day, I did morning a one activity and we enjoyed a lot. That, I'm sure I need not to ask what you did till 6 o'clock. I'm sure you will be telling me what you did in the morning today, what you had in the breakfast today. If I tell you what I had, if I'm specific, telling you who my friends are, if I go and tell my child, okay, today my friend called me that friend. No, that friend called me from Chandigarh. And tomorrow they will be telling me I was with my friends. If I tell them that I was with Gaurav, they will tell me that I was with Mohit, I was with Kavita. I'm sure if we are specific. The problem with us is to talk to kids, we have 2-3 things to do: asking questions, giving directives, and giving suggestions. Don't do this. It's not worth it. Go and do it. Why you are doing it? Why? Questions, directives, suggestions. Believe me, if you just change the course, go start talking to your child about your feelings, your emotions, your routine, to whom you had a word with today. Kisse baat hui phone pe, what you had in the morning. If they don't know, that's it. If you go and talk to them about your routine, they'll tell you your routine. And believe me, at home, everyone have their own routine. Right? So my suggestion to you is, it's a good opportunity to spend quality time with your kids. Right? Quantity we have ample now to spend, but that quantity can be converted into quality. And there are 3 ways to convert quantity into quality. I am there at my home with my child whole day. Can we say that we are spending quality time with the kids by being there at home together? No. That's a blessing you have, that you have quantity now, but turn it into quantity into quality by talking to them. When you talk to them, that time is counted as quality time. If you watch a movie now for 2.5 hours and you're not talking to each other, this time is not quality time. But in the same movie, you talked about some characters, some scenes, you look the perspective of the child on certain behaviors and certain characters portrayed in the movie. Believe me, that talk will be considered as quality time. How you think, how your child think, talk about it. That is talking. That is quality time. Second is play with them. Whenever you play with them, whatever, formal, informal, right, casual, masti, that will be counted as your quality time. Even if at that time you are not talking to them, that play will be counted as quality time. And I suggest you, preferably, this play shall be physical play. Don't go and become one participant on PlayStation with them. Papa will pick up their remote and child will pick up their remote. No. Preferably, it has to be a physical play, maybe a board game, maybe some masti with the pillows, right? 20% it can be screenplay. Some games you can play. Definitely, I don't say no to it. But 80% it shall be physical play on board game or so. Play with them. That will be counted as quality time. And the third is do things together. These are the only 3 things which are counted as quality time: talking, playing, doing things together. And what you can do, lot. You can have meals together. You can cook meals together. You can do gardening together. You can do cleaning together. You can do some chopping together. Maybe even if you divide your work to just plucking the coriander leaves, it is also a work. It is also doing something together. So even a small mere thing of sorting something is doing things together. Making up the wardrobe, making up the table, it's all doing things together, right? All set? So this all we can do, 3 E's. I'll just repeat it. The first is empathizing with their emotions, feelings, and their state of mind, which they have right now. Definitely, their struggle is something which we can't invalidate. Their feelings we can't invalidate by giving them rationals and logics, right? Second is engage them into some effective engagements by planning their day, by dividing their day into 4 parts: physical engagements, entertainment engagements, academic engagements, and learning engagements. And believe me, if you plan physical activities, it will happen. If it's not planned, if you took it an excuse that they can't do, they will not do. So just get out of this belief that it is not possible. It is possible. There are families, those who are engaging their kids into physical activities. Do that and involve them into some learning engagements. Academic are already happening. Entertainment is already happening. The best which we can do is to plan physical and these learning engagements. A lot of things are happening around. Involve them into some great things to learn something new for development. And third is spending quality time with them by encouraging them to talk, play, and do things together, right? And when you involve them, right, you instead of ordering them, invite them, seek help, you will get better results, right? Another thing which I say, anything which child doesn't like to do, if they don't like to do reading because it is monotonous, that is why they play games. They will do those things which they don't like if you do those things along with them. This is the one basic principle, that kids do those things which they don't like, right, only when you are doing with them. So you can encourage them for those things by doing it with them. You can plan your day, you can plan your schedule, and your whatever time you have, limited time you have. I'm sure when you operate from home, it is much more tough. At every point of time you are on job. So at least the time which you have, which is limited time you have, you can use that time in talking to your child, playing with them, and doing things together. And I'm sure this was the time which has been given to me. I have tried to be in time enough. So thank you. Thanks a ton. And I'm open to take any query, question you have, you can ask. Yes, Shelly.
First of all, I would really want to thank Gauravji and Ina ma'am for giving us such a stupendous session. And Manish sir, you know, whatever presentation you gave, it was so close to our heart, because today I'll not represent myself as an educator. Today I am thoroughly only a parent. And whatever you talked, whatever you discussed was closely connected to me, you know. So it was a golden opportunity for me to learn very much from you. I was worried about only 2 points, you know.
Yes, please.
First was the screen time for my kids, and second was, you know, constant, you know, that sleeping routine which got disturbed. You know, late nights, they were all awake.
What's
and all day they were sleeping. And I was like, you know, how about the eating habits and everything? Because everything was disturbed. So these 2 things I was worried about. But yes, by listening to you, I have got so many points. Yes, these are the things which we can, you know, implement with our kids. Our kids will be very, very positive, and then, you know, there will be a balance. But a small question which I want to ask from you is, like, during this lockdown, I felt so that the dimension of parenting is changed a bit. So what kind of a parent one should become? From a gentler parent to the helicopter parent, or to the hovercraft parent? So you just throw some light on this thing, which I want to know from you right now.
I never suggest anyone to become an overprotective parent, helicopter parent. Yes. Anyways, you're not enabling your child by that. Your child shall be independent to age, that whatever they can do, they shall do. They shall not be dependent on others. That is what independence to age. Even a 3-year-old child can be independent to age if they are doing those things which they can do. So I'm not suggesting anyways overprotective parenting. And I don't want to say that we shall be only gentle. right? That you need not to be firm. You need to be
Yeah.
firm, right? It is a balance actually. You give liberties to your child because they never feel that we are caged, but you definitely have to place limits to them, especially those who have teenagers. Because
Yeah.
when these hormonal impacts are there in their life, they don't know limits. They don't have limits. When they start getting pleasure from one activity, they don't know where to stop. They keep on doing it. At that point of time, I won't say that you do policing, but be there in their life so that they become conscious. My mama is there in my life. If they are allowed to be aloof and alone, we are not allowed to be in their life. Then anything wrong thing which gives them pleasure, they will not be able to stop themselves. You be there. I would say, apart from it, if you are involved parenting, you are doing, that's the best solution at this point of time, right? Even at being at home, we may not be involved with them. Like being at home is not involvement. Involvement is being there in their life, talking to them, playing with them, doing things together, and believe me, listening to them as a friend.
Yeah.
They will feel comfortable talking to you. That you can best do, but only that being gentle is not there. You need to be firm as well.
Yes.
Whenever you place things which are harming their impacting their mental health, which is impacting their physical health, your consensus among parents and your firmness is the key. If they know, if I negotiate with them, if I show my emotions towards them, they change their no to yes. You are giving power to their tantrums.
Yes.
Right? Your firmness is very important, and consensus among parents is very important. So I usually tell parents, frequently sit with each other and talk about the observation you had with child, so that at least both are on common page. Many a time mama have an idea, papa is not updated on that, and they get into actually crossing lines with each other, which is not required, which gives a wrong message to child. That way, I think involved parenting is right now, and mindful parenting is right now a solution, I think.
Very well said, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, sir, there is one more question from Supriya ma'am.
Yes, Supriya.
Yes, Supriya.
So thank you so much for this wonderful session and insightful. I really enjoyed it. I just want to ask a question. Is pampering a kid is very necessary for their upbringing? Because my daughter always complains, Mama, you are not pampering. But I do all the caring, and besides that, she complains, no pampering from your side. So just throw the light on this.
I'll just change the word, actually. 2 words I'll give you, which can replace this word pampering: love and appreciation. Love is one thing which cannot be ever at bargain. Whatever be the behavior of my child, love can't be at bargain. But appreciation can do wonders in their life, right? If they're doing something which is great, even if it is without your intervention, it calls for award. And award is not only appreciation; it can be appreciation, it can be gratitude, it can be recognizing their efforts and celebrations also. This pampering is usually misunderstood. Maybe your intent is not that, but it is misunderstood by audience when they feel like pampering is over giving to kids, right? They have a different meaning of love. Love means agreeing with the child. That's not true. Love has different dimension than agreeing. In spite disagreeing with my child, I can love my child at the same time. The problem with us is we feel like pampering is agreeing, loving, which sometimes build the wrong behavior at child end. If I end up fulfilling all their needs, rather it's not needs, their demands, it may turn out to be an undue expectation, which will be a big pain tomorrow when I'll not be able to fulfill those needs. So I think get out of that mind that that we don't love. We definitely love our kids, but we are sometimes unable to display that, right? We parents have a different this idea at this point of time. We feel love is in agreement. It will only be corrected in your mind when you will display it together. One day you are disagreeing with the child, they are throwing tantrum, they are pushy, you are disagreeing with the child, and display love at that time. Instead of ignoring them at that point of time, go love them, hug them, kiss them. When you yourself display it, you correct yourself and you correct child's mind also, that love and agreement both are different things. Mama love me, but they don't agree with me. Now what we do when we disagree, we don't love. And it gives the wrong message to child that love is an agreement. No, it's not that. And love can't be at bargain. Even if my child is doing every day, all the time they're doing bad things, the message shall be, I don't like this activity. I like you. We give wrong message sometimes. that while giving them message, we tell them we don't like you. That's not true. You love your child, you like your child, you dislike that behavior. If you highlight that, believe me, if you specific telling them, I like it, I like this behavior action, I dislike this behavior and action, they will never complain about pampering on, because they are getting appreciated as well, and they are getting their activities and actions and behaviors are getting disliked as well. But specification is missing. That is why we feel like कि अगर appreciation मिल रही है तो वो भी मुझे मिल रही है. I am getting appreciated only. You are amazing. You are great. You are excellent. And if it disliked, it is me. Just separate it by being specific in your likings and dislikings.
Thank you so much, sir. It was really great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, audience, for asking the questions. And thank you so much, Manish, sir. I think a lot of questions must be coming in the audience mind that how we can reach you.
Okay.
So please
if they want
share
to,
they would like
if they want to reach us, there are people like me somewhere around. We have 758 coaches in 15 other countries. Apart from India, we have the biggest team. We have 400 plus coaches in India. You can visit deepparenting.com. I can write down in the chat box. If you want to see our coaches, if you want to contact them in your city for any help, this deepparenting.com. You visit. This is the official website of this association. And we have coaches across India, and they are increasing in number day in, day out, every day. Other fact, we are doing a lot of activities at this point of time. On similar lines, we have for parents, those who are in pandemic, their kids are very much locked at home. Parents are locked at home. They are connected with negativity around. To disconnect them from that negativity, we have designed a carnival for them, which is Carnival of Hope. You can visit our Facebook page of Deep Parenting. So if you go there, every day at 5 o'clock, there is one storytelling session for kids. At 4 o'clock, there is parenting sessions going on every day from last 3 weeks. And from tomorrow, there is a summer camp, free summer camp for kids, which is going to start. Somewhere around 80 coaches are participating in facilitating that summer camp. And somewhere around 1,800 kids will be participating in summer camp. Last summer camp, we finished last week, where 768 kids got trained for 6 days. It was free of cost. In this pandemic time, our services are free for families for some time. So you can go and visit that. You can be part of it. I'm sure you will like all the sessions. If you like today's session, you will like all the sessions. If you go on the timeline of that page, you will get every day from last 3 weeks, one or other parenting session is going on at 4 o'clock. Even right now at 7 o'clock, Aditi is this Sandhya is going live with the topic. You can go on the same page and check with the parenting sessions. Thank you. And you have been a great audience. I am sure that these 45 minutes has been worthy for you. If you really felt good about it and you got value out of it, thanks to the team Positive Thoughts, because they initiated this. And that is how we are connected with each other. Thank you. Thanks, Sitan. Thanks, Ina. Thanks, Gaurav.
Thank you so much, sir, for being here, giving so much of information related to parenting, which I think is incredible. And we all require it, whether it is a toddler or the teenager, because every child is unique. And yes, you took us through beautiful 3 E's. That is emotionally attached, getting attached to your child, checking their emotions, engagement part, and third was encouraging them to talk. Superb, sir. Now is the time, I think if all my audience will also agree to it, to facilitate Manish Sharma, sir, for being here, for giving his valuable and beautiful time. And I feel privileged, Ina Singh, co-chair of Positive Thoughts, to do the same. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thanks, Sitan.
And it's our pleasure to listen to you, hear you. You're beautiful. You're very informative information about the things that how we should take care of our children. Usually our parenting is based on our past experiences, but you have changed the entire thought process of parenting, that we as parents should be working on it. And I think most of the parents would love to be part of your program where you are taking them through all these things. It's great to have you here. And now, finally, I would like to invite Gaurav Sharma, sir, to please do the vote of thanks and close. We are almost coming towards the end of the session.
Thank you so much, Veena ma'am. And once again, very beautiful evening to all. And आप सबको मेरा हाथ जोड़ के नमस्कार. मैं आपका दोस्त गौरव शर्मा. सबसे पहले मनीष सर, I would like to thank you, Manish sir, for inviting and accepting our invitation for today's session. Sir, you are truly amazing. You are truly amazing. You just change our perception towards the parenting, which is the need of the time, parenting in lockdown, right? Because we all are facing these conditions, lockdown conditions, since a very long time. It's been more than a year. And I'm sure most of us are going to join Manish sir sessions from here on, and I'm sure each one of us are going to check out his website, beepparenting.com, and Carnival is going on. We will be bringing more such sessions on every Wednesday, every Saturday and Sunday, and every month we will be having one international grand event, mega event, wherein we will be having different countries speakers all together on this very own platform, Positive Thoughts. And yes, Manish sir, I really would like to thank you once again from the bottom core of my heart that you supported us, you supported our vision and mission, and together we are going to make such a huge impact and positive change to this entire universe. And I'm sure you all will be with me for this noble and social cause, for the humanity, for the mankind, for this universe, for all of us. Because if we are going to think ecologically, what is beneficial for me, what is beneficial for my loved ones, and what is beneficial for the society, everything would be great, super amazing, super positive. Thank you so much, Manish sir, and please accept our token of appreciation. Thank you so much. And along with this, I would like to felicitate our very own Ina Singh ma'am, who just hosted this show beautifully. Ina ma'am, please accept this token of appreciation. This is your friend, and my hashtag I'm Gaurav Sharma friend. You.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. I think with this, we are coming to the end of this beautiful and amazing session on parenting in lockdown, which I don't think so anybody wants to go, because none of them have left the meeting till now. And Manish sir, we are looking for more input, but looking into the time and looking into so many things, I think people would be joining your sessions on your page, where we can get insights into more of parenting. Thank you so much. And with this, we are closing the session with the claps for the sir. Thank you for being here.
And Ina ma'am, I just need to ask one thing to everyone. I believe everyone must have sent their details on my WhatsApp number, because unfortunately our Google link, what went wrong with our Google link? I'm so sorry for that. Please do the needful. I've already shared my details. Sharing once again, please do the needful for your certificate of participation, so that I will be sending your certificate of participation in the next 1 or 2 hours. Thank you so much. Ina ma'am, please take the shot.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody, for patiently listening to the session and enjoying it, which we can see through your questions and interactions. Thank you so much, audience. And thank you so much, Manish Sharma, sir, for being here and sparing your valuable time with Positive Thoughts. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, everyone.